We got a flying 59 Apache. How's it going? My name's JT. This is No Limit Garage if you're new here. Tonight, I'm going to attempt to take this hood off by myself. But, more importantly, we're going to try to get this cab off because right on the other side over there, we got a 2001 half-ton four-wheel drive chassis and LS and all that good stuff that it's going to go on. This is a 59 Apache. And I think it's going to be a pretty cool project, so let's get to it. For those of you that are new here, this is the Apache. Not a bad looking old truck here. No real big rot. A couple spots up in the front brow area on the other side. The other fender's kind of toast, but really, the truck as a whole is pretty good. If you have been following the channel for a long time, we did get this running quite a while back. Ran pretty good, to be honest. So, nevertheless, a buddy of mine wants to get it off of this chassis, put it on a more modern chassis with an LS, four-wheel drive, independent front suspension, you know, all the good stuff, but we're going to keep it all Apache, interior, exterior, as much as we can. So that's the plan. Really not much else to look at on the truck. What you see is what you get. So let's see if I can hurt my back, take this hood off by myself. Seems like a good idea. Surely the hood can't be too heavy, right? We're gonna find out. I'm gonna tell you, it seems like every time on this channel I tell you guys not to do that by yourself. The hood's pretty heavy. Just use two people. I'm the only one here, so I just do it by myself. But here we go. It's off there. We will figure out how to heave-ho it up and back there with all the other junk. Let's figure it out. Yeah, it's not too bad. In all fairness, the only reason I take hoods off by myself is because it seems like all I work on around here is rusty junk that doesn't matter if it gets scratched. If this was, you know, a nice painted truck, or the Nova or the Chevelle were nice painted cars, get some help. Don't do that. But if it's rusty, who cares? Take it off. Much better. Now we got a light. And when we get the cab up and onto that, we'll be able to see any and all interference. So let's get these couple things off. Mounts and those. See if we can't get this thing up. This is the clutch pedal here. Just gonna see if we can get this broke loose and separated. It's coming right apart. Brake pedal looks like it'll be fairly easy. I also have the park brake handle that will need to come off, as well as the shifter lever and the starter button. Yep, starter button. If you know anything about these trucks, they actually have a foot button to engage the starter. Clutch pedal unhooked. Good there. Now, brake pedal. See if we can do that. A little 3/4 on the brake pedal and boom. Clutch and brake are out. We're back. I know for you guys nothing's changed, but it's a different night. We're gonna be back on the Apache again. Let's get some of this stuff out of here. We're gonna get this brake lever out. We're gonna get that starter button out. We're gonna get the shifter out. Then we'll probably take the column out. I was gonna just cut it, but kind of feel bad doing that. So I'm just gonna take the wheel off and all that stuff. Take it off down there, slide it out. It'll be good. Unless it starts fighting, and then I'll just cut it. But for now, that's what we're gonna do. So start with the shifter, get it up out of there, because it's gonna be the easiest part, and then we'll keep going. So this is actually an SM465. I thought it was a 3-speed. And then I looked at the shift knob today for the first time. It is a 4-speed. So if you don't know about these, this little collar here pushes down, twists, and the whole thing just comes right out. So I kind of lubed it a little bit, see if we can get it turned enough here. It's kind of theoretically, you should be able to just spin it out with your fingers, but it's old and doesn't really work that way. So there it goes. See how dry that is? Nasty. But shifter's out. So with it being a 4-speed, I probably will keep the trans. Not sure why, but we'll keep it around for something in the future. Probably just push this whole chassis back in the trees for a later date. Got thinking about it. Thinking about this starter button, thought, man, you know, it's got to be easier than getting underneath there, because that's pretty tight. And this truck's 35 years older than me, so I haven't worked on many of these. Well, any, to be fair. So I looked behind the pad. Sure enough, it had a hex on it. Took that off. It's got a flat spot on the shaft, so you can take it off too. Well, it's a little tight for the 5/16 wrench that it's supposed to have, so put some of these on there, and surely we can get it off there. slowly but surely it'll go. I should have just cut it off. Ooh. Well, same difference. Broke it off. Good enough, it's out of there. We got the starter button out of there. Now it's time to move on to this park brake mechanism. So we got that piece that comes up through the floor. We got the unlock lever and dealio here. And then this linkage that runs back to the drum on the drive shaft. So we're going to take this pin out, and then we'll use a scraper and see what we got under here. Looks like there's 2 bolts there, and then that thing can kind of just stay with the truck. We might be able to finagle it up out of that hole. I'm not sure. If we can't, we can take this pin out and probably definitely get it up out of the hole, but we can't take that out with it mounted because the pin goes that way and there's transmission there. So let's see what we can find out here. Alright, let me get this pin out of here. So far, things have been coming around pretty good for a 66-year-old truck. My biggest worry is the cab mounts. I really hope that they come out okay, because we kind of got to use them for the new chassis. But we shall see. The cotter pin broke, but trying to get the rest of that one piece out of here. There we go. All right, that pin's out. Persuade it a little bit. Got the juices. Almost like I knew what I was doing. It's about the only time I'm going to claim that. Worked good. Look at that. Out of there. Alright. Got that out. Clean these up. Watch your eyeballs. Are you squinting? I am. Yeah. First try. It's almost like you could build most of this truck with this size socket. Yeah, it wasn't even tight. Look at that. I wonder if the other one was tight. Survey says. Huh? Not really. Cool. And there's that bracket. Is that everything? Why does it still feel like there's something holding on to it? Oh, there it goes. There it is, oil. Oh, so there you can see how it's got them ridges for your deal to hold on there. And it looks like this is gonna have to come out. Got it. Alright, so park brake handle is out. Starter button is out. Shifter is out. I got this line here. It's got to come off. That's the fuel line. Hoping there's nothing in there. Probably will be. But either way, we got to pop that off, see what we got there. So grab a pan, right? See if we get anything out of here. Well, luckily, there's nothing in there because I grabbed the hose to pull it down so I could see these a little better because I'm on over here, you know, instead of just rolling over. I was lazy. Grabbed it and, what do you know? Rubber's a little hard. Nothing in it. That's done. Next up on the list, let's get this steering box kind of loosened up and get it ready to pull once we get the column all ready. At least we'll be ready down here. So, looks like about 1.5 inches for that Pitman arm nut. Get a wrench up in here. I didn't want to have to look for my socket. I found the wrench first. Broke free. Woo! I was about to give up, and she went. Well, GoPro died last night, right when I got that Pitman arm off, if you remember. So, I went ahead and took that the rest of the way off. I unbolted the 3 bolts for the steering box. Got that unbolted. So that's good. Come out here tonight, and I just started kind of going at it. Figured, you know, let's see what we can get done before we deal with videoing. So these, I'll just go down here and show you because we got the light. So these back mounts, this one came right out. That one over there broke. I think it's, yeah, this is the good one that came right out. You can see. The other one over there broke. It's laying over there somewhere. And these two, this one come right off. No big deal. That side over there, I had to beat an 18 onto the head of the bolt because it was so rusty, and I had to heat up the nut a little bit with MAP gas torch, and it came right off. So we're doing pretty good. I think the only thing that's left before we can pull this cab is getting the steering column out. So we're gonna work on that, and then we're gonna get this cab off here. It's the plan. All right, so the last order of business is gonna be getting this column out of here. So I'm gonna pop the wheel off, see about getting all these controls off of here so it's just the shaft, and then we will get the steering box off of the frame. Should be it. Then we can hook up to this thing and hopefully lift it up off here. So let's get the steering wheel off. Look at that. It's nice when you got standard sockets just lying around. Boom. Yeah. Again, we're not using any of this, so don't worry. The little joy of working on things that you know you aren't going to actually mess with again. Connector up under here. Here's those. This comes right off. Just spin it a little bit. Oh, I thought so. Yeah. Sure. All right. There's that. Wires are undone. They literally just broke. No surprise there. So I'm just gonna go get the snips. Snip all this stuff off. Snip this off. Take these out. Like ½ inch. And that thing should just come right out of there. See what we can do. Get some of my tools back too. It will be a little bit of a mess. There's me. It's free. Got the column about ready. That's off of there. Poor old bottle broke. It was already broke, so don't be upset with me for getting rammy. It was already broke, but big old glass pieces down there, so we should probably get those out first. Big old glass pieces. Would have been really cool. Oh, more glass pieces now. Dang. Well, never claimed to be a basketball player. Anyhow, it's a shame that that wasn't in good shape, because that's pretty cool. I would have used that for the swap for sure. Oh well. Alright, so that's off of there. Let's see if maybe we can get lucky and it'll just kind of fall out. Huh? We're not getting lucky. Whoa, there it goes. Alright, I guess I'm gonna get under there and try to catch it. This now, can you see? Sorry, bad YouTuber. This thing, I'm gonna get it out. Okay? Okay. It does come out, barely. But I think that's the last piece. So we should be good. I'm gonna see what time it is, and then we might try to pull it tonight. But thing is, what I'm probably gonna do is I'm probably gonna pull this whole thing outside, try to pull the cab out there, because I got more up. And then what I probably will do, since we will be more or less working on that for a while, what I'll probably do is test fit this on there, see if we're 100% good to go. If we are, and it's feasible and we can do it, which I don't see why not, I'll probably take it back off. We're gonna clean up the firewall. I think what we're gonna do, and I'm gonna ask the guy first, I think we might clean up everything like this, all this, inner fenders, firewall from probably this ridge down, inner fenders, all that. Clean all of this up as good as we can, and then spray it like satin black or something. I just think it would look better when you open the hood. It would look more finished when that thing, I mean, it'll have headers and everything else. It'll look pretty nice. So I think that's what we'll probably do, but we'll just wait. We're gonna test fit it first, see if we're gonna have to cut the inner fenders a little bit for the A-arms and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure we will, just based on rough measurements. Not a big deal, but see what we need to cut, get it kind of fit. We're gonna have to make cab mounts on the frame because they're not even close to being in the right spots, and all that stuff. So the cab will be on and off several times. So what I want to do is get this whole thing out, test fit that, but I'm gonna pull that chassis where this is sitting. That way I got more room over there. It's just the shop's been cluttered. It's driving me nuts. So chances are I'll probably wait until tomorrow to pull the cab, but we got everything out. We're right there. So got the last two bolts out right here. I thought that they had nuts on the bottom. Nope, they're bolts. So I had to take those out. And now, when I lift up on this, the whole cab moves. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna lift this door up. We're gonna pull this thing out, yank the cab off of it. Let's do it. Didn't have enough lead in its butt, so had to get the big truck out, pull it up here, and since it's on nice flat ground, I think we're just gonna try to pull the cab right here. So sure, let's do it. Well, we're getting there. I missed two things, and one of them I should have grabbed because I seen it when I was down there, but the speedometer cable on the trans, and then this little ground wire, it looks like. So I'll snip that, and I'll put it down just a little more, and I'll snip that right off, take it off at the trans, and then we'll lift this thing up off here. And we're free. It says this is 990 pounds. We got a flying 59 Apache. Got the cab off of here, set on the ground. So we're gonna deal with this thing, get it set probably over here or something, and then we'll move the chassis once we clean up in there a bit, and we will get this thing back in there, see if it'll fit on the chassis. Yeah, here we go. All right, shop's clean, Gator's hard parked. Got this thing sitting here, got it off the stand so that hopefully it's a little lower and we can get just enough to get that cab over. I don't know if it's gonna be enough or not. I guess worst case we can take tires off and slam it on the floor. and then put them back on if it does fit or whatever. But we got the cab all rigged up here. Take a look up here. Sit there, and we got straps to keep it from doing this thing and spinning around and all that good stuff. So we're gonna get it back down in here and try to set it on the frame. Well, it's on there. Fits pretty well. Should have room here for the radiator. Might have to take that fan off and put an electric fan on it or something, because I don't know how deep that gets recessed, but we'll have to check that. Not the end of the world there. Looks like we're fairly centered in the wheel well here. Come to this side. Fairly centered. Now this thing is going to have to come down, because the goal is here not to see the frame. So, you know, that's eye level. I need to come down probably 5 inches maybe, and that would get this looking pretty good. But our big problem right now, you can see right here, it's pretty dark in there. See if I can get a light for you. So you can see right there that shock is hitting the inner fender. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, there's a line right here, this ridge, it's like stamped in the inner fender. I'm going to take and cut straight back on that, and then kind of zigzag down and go all the way in the front, and then catch this right here and see about taking that out. And then if we need to, I can make a couple relief cuts or something and see about pulling it in. That way it can sit on the inside or outside of this. And then on the other side, basically the same thing. So the cab isn't perfectly centered right now. It's gonna move a little bit, but that's kind of what we're looking at. Same thing over here, cut right there all the way around, and then pull it in if we need to. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at. And right now it's just sitting on blocks back here on kind of where the frame lays. But we got a mount there that we might be able to utilize. I don't think so. This is a factory mount, so we might be able to just put like a little stand here and put a captured nut in there, or whatever, you know. Same on the other side. We might be able to figure out something there. And then up here, this one's clear in there, so you can see it right there. Like I said, this isn't centered, so that will come over towards the outside of the frame this way, probably an inch or so. So that should be pretty easy to make a little stand off of the frame on that, because a lot of this stuff we're not going to use. We're going to cut it all out when we put new brakes and stuff on here. So it's looking pretty good, not gonna lie. Once we get that cut and we get it lowered a little bit more to where we want it, I can start taking measurements and figuring out where our mounts are gonna go, and we should be good. But before we can do any of that, I'm gonna have to get this thing backed out again, cut it, shorten it, and go from there, because we can't mount the cab without it being shortened, because we got to take out from here up this way, and obviously the cab's going to be in the way of that. So either way, the cab's going to have to come off, but this gives us an idea of, hey, you know, this is what we're working with. Really doesn't look too bad. I'm pretty happy with how the engine and stuff is sitting in there. It looks like we shouldn't have really hardly any tunnel issues, I don't believe. Looks pretty good, but if we do, I'm 90% sure that this is a bolt-in tunnel. I don't know that 100%. I'm pretty sure it is. I haven't had the floor mat out to look, but if it is, we can take that out, and that ain't no problem, and then we can either modify it or whatever we need to do to get clearance for the transmission. But right now, I think we should be okay. I mean, it looks pretty good. So, and it looks, yeah, 100%. That's a bolt-in tunnel. So, if we need to take that out and modify it, we can. But looks like if we give a little height to this thing on the mounts and get it down to where we need it, looks like we shouldn't have a problem. This thing should work pretty well. It needs to go to the driver's side about probably 1.5 to 2 inches, because we're sucked in on the tire there and we're kind of flush on the other side. So that's where we're at. I'd like to see, with it sitting on here, obviously straps are on the doors, but the doors do latch and unlatch, so we're good there. Yeah, doing good, making good progress. I'm happy with it, and that's where we're at. So that's going to end off this video. We got quite a bit accomplished, and we got quite a bit of clutter out of the shop. So we got that other chassis out, we got this kind of sitting here. I'm going to take the strap stuff off and leave kind of the rigging, so I know how we need to set it up when we do need to lift it up and down. And then with that off, I'll be able to roll this thing forward and backwards if I need to take it, you know, back and get some room up here to where I can work on something else or whatever. But that helps a lot. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Hopefully you're very interested in this. This should be a very fun project, and hopefully we're going to get some real good headway on this very, very soon. So see you again probably in a week, maybe, hopefully less. Now that we got some room, we might keep going on the Nova. We got some parts coming for it, like I said, and that should be really cool. I think you guys are going to like that a lot. It's going to spruce it up a little bit, you know. So all right, thanks guys for watching. See you next time. Hey, like, subscribe, share if you want to. If you don't, it's cool. See ya.